Our back-to-school coverage continues now at 6:14, and this is good news. A recent CDC study shows improved ventilation in schools may reduce COVID infections by nearly 50%.
What they say, the solution to pollution is dilution, and the same thing's true here.
Target 12 investigator Tolly Taylor found out what local districts have in place right now going into the new school year.
Target 12 looked at what schools are doing to reduce COVID cases as the Delta variant surges. With masks required in K-12 schools across the state, we examined school ventilation technology. Tiverton School Superintendent Peter Sanchione says he and other district leaders started buying filtration devices in the first weeks of March 2020. At the time, he says, they read research suggesting things like these high-efficiency particulate absorbing filters, or HEPA filters, might help reduce COVID transmission.
It built the confidence, first and foremost, of our staff, that they were working in a safe environment, and then secondly, our families.
In May, the CDC published a large-scale study of COVID transmission looking at 123 Georgia elementary schools and more than 66,000 students over a period of 1 month in fall 2020. The study found schools that opened classroom windows and doors reduced COVID infections by 35%. Schools that took those measures and added things like HEPA filters reduced infections by 48%. What's your reaction to that?
I would say that research is absolutely correct.
Last year, Sanchione says 20% of Tiverton's 1,600 students chose distance learning for the entire year. But everyone else from mid-October through the end of the year was in person.
We had 144 students catch COVID. Not one of them caught it in our schools, and not one of them transmitted in our schools.
Sanchione says each of the district's 5 schools have HEPA filters in the heating and cooling units, and each classroom has individual filters. Target 12 asked every district in the state about its ventilation. 23 of the 24 districts that responded have HEPA filters in their buildings. Tiverton is one of 3 out of 24 districts that also use ultraviolet germicidal irradiation, UVGI, technology that was also included in the CDC study. UNC professor of epidemiology David Weber says that while the findings of the CDC study are encouraging, it doesn't meet the standards of a randomized clinical trial, and the technology needs further research.
We need solid evidence that they would actually lower infections.
We have old buildings, there's no secret. So we recognize the importance of air quality. I think we attacked it from a global perspective.
Coventry Superintendent Craig Levis says his district was one of the first in the state to bring in experts to evaluate ventilation and take steps to mitigate problems. He says Coventry school buildings have roughly 150 HEPA filters like this one.
It's, again, another layering approach in terms of protecting our students.
So where is the most important place in a school to install a HEPA filter? I'll have the CDC's recommendation coming up on 12 News at 5. With the Target 12 investigators, I'm Tolly Taylor, 12 News.